brand new in box TRF503. Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again thank you for stopping by. Boom! Brand new in box TRF503. Pretty rare, very expensive, and getting harder and harder to find. There's a story behind this. I've done a trade for this kit. My good buddy in Arizona, who I call Mr. well, he's called Michael, but I call him TRF man. Those of you who've been with this channel for a while will know that I how long ago, about 8 months ago, maybe longer, I actually had a TRF503, and I snapped it in half at about 40 miles an hour. Long story short, the antenna wire from the receiver caught around it came loose, wrapped round the spur gear. I lost complete transmitter control, lost signal, and the car just went off on its own basically, and it hit the only concrete bollard in this huge car park, and it definitely hit at a minimum of 40 miles an hour. Snapped a carbon chassis and did lots of other damage. The main expensive bit was the front blue TRF alloy bulkhead. It bent that badly. And you just can't really, well, you can find them, but it's really difficult, and you're going to have to pay top dollar for them. Anyway, so I sold it to him, and I'm glad to say that it's all up and running, and it's mint again, so well done, Michael. So anyway, I've been trying to work through my projects, and I'm getting to a stage now where there's cars I want to keep instead of moving everything on so I can get more stuff on the channel. So I had the Tamiya DB02 Leonis, which I've done a couple of videos on. Now I knew Michael was sort of doing the full TRF collection. Now I know the DB01 and DB02 is not TRF, but it kind of is. It's a poor man's TRF. Those DB01s and 02s were kind of developed from the TRF cars. So, and I knew he didn't have a DB02, but I did know he had two brand new in box 503s. So I thought about this for a while. I reached out to him and said, look, would you be interested in a trade for my new in box DB02 with all the hop-ups I had for it? And if you remember, I had a ton of hop-ups. I'm just trying to put a value on the hop-ups. I had about, I think it was close to £250. No, it was more. The big bore shock set that I bought was £100 on its own. Yeah, it was probably near £300 worth of hop-ups and then the car on top. So a lot of people, when I posted on a couple of groups that I was getting this, and they were like, that's a mega deal to get a TRF for basically a crappy DB02. But that DB02 is a rare car already. I know it was a failure and a flop and what have you, but it doesn't matter. To have one new in box, it's super cool. So I didn't think this trade was as one-sided as some people thought, that I was the winner. No, definitely not. And Michael's got the DB02 now, and he's well happy. So yeah, this is a car I want to keep, and we will run it, but it's more for the shelf. What I'm just going to do now quickly is I'm going to show you. First of all, I'll put a link to my TRF503 running so you can watch the full video if you're interested. But I've just put this like 55-second clip together for you to watch. It's just it running, and it was the very first time I ran it, and you can kind of see I was just so surprised at how good this thing was. Oh wow, it's punchy as hell. I'm hardly touching the throttle. I'm really hardly touching that trigger. The brakes are good. Oh wow, that seems quick. Oh wow, super smooth. Meter time, just see what it does. Whoa! That's 78 kilometers. 78 kilometers. I'll have to work that out in miles per hour. So as you can see, that thing was insane. That was running a 6.5 brushless motor, 2S saddle pack. So it had a really good sort of electrics set up in it. But nevertheless, the car was like it handled like it was on rails. So again, we will get this running at some point, but that's definitely for the future. Now, what I have had done already before I even got this kit, I've had the shell painted for me, which I'm showing you pictures of now. So a massive shout out to Craig on Tamiya Legends Facebook group again. This is the second body he's painted for me. He's already done an egress shell for me, and as you can see, that thing is epic. So that's a TRF503 shell, which is a little bit of a universal shell. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it fits the 501, 511 and 503. Definitely 503 and 511. I might be wrong about the 501, but I actually thought, it's funny, I thought that was a Durga shell they'd used. I thought that for about a year. I just assumed that was the Durga shell. And that's how I found out about 511. So shout out to Lee, who told me about this shell, because I asked the question, does the Durga shell fit the 503? And it's like, no. I'm like, well, what's that? And then it's like, well, that's the 511 shell. Anyway, also a massive shout out to Steve at Penguin Bodies. That's whose shell this is. I'll put a link in the description as well to his group. Does amazing reproduction shells in the UK, and he's a really, really nice bloke. So that's enough shout outs to all you guys who helped me get to this stage. So I'll just show you quickly. I've also got a Blight carbon chassis for it, which I got with it because I knew Michael had that. As we get into the box, you'll see this comes with a metal chassis. Really nice looking thing, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that the TRF I had the Blight carbon chassis, and I loved it. So it made kind of sense to sort of replicate what I had earlier. But you can still buy these from Blight. They're not cheap, but it's top quality carbon. I don't know if it's poor quality carbon. That might be a stupid thing to say. Anyway, so let's get into this box. But before we do, because a lot of you guys might not have seen, this is obviously the highest end buggy that Tamiya did. This TRF503 was the last TRF buggy that Tamiya produced, and they've said they're not producing anymore. Apparently the TRF, Tamiya Racing Factory, is no more. Although, after they said that, later down the line came a TRF420, the 110th touring car. So I know they're still doing the 110th touring car racing, but I think they're completely out of the buggies now, which is such a shame. So this TRF503 came out in 2014. So the kit's only 6 years old, but mega rare, mega rare. Now and again you'll see one come up for sale. Very rare you'll see a brand new in box one. So if you are looking for one, you just kind of got to sit there and wait for one. What I would suggest if you are looking for one is to jump on the TRF off-road group on Facebook. Great group, really friendly group, and you can ask. It's one of those nice groups where no question's a silly question. So if you're not sure, just post, and all these guys, obviously a lot of them are racers, and you'll get all the information that you need or you want. Top group. So that's enough rattling on. No, it's not. So because this is a high-end kit, there's certain things you do not get in the box. So you don't get a motor, you wouldn't expect to. You don't get a speed controller, again, wouldn't expect to. You don't get tyres. Now that surprised me. But what surprised me even more is you don't get wheels. That really surprised me. I expected a set of white wheels in here, but you don't get them in the kit. You also don't get a body shell, obviously. You do get an under tray, which I'll show you. And then one bit that did surprise me is you get the wing, the Tamiya Racing wing in here, but no body shell. So obviously it's completely designed for the racer to use your own wheels and tyres and body shell and your own electrics, obviously. But I think these used to retail at about $800 US when they first came out. So it wasn't cheap, and they're only going up in price. So that is definitely enough waffle. Let's get into this box and have a look at it. So again, carbon comes from Blight in the UK. Really nice quality. Very nice piece of kit, this. Not really coming up in the bag. I'm going to leave it in the bag, it's pointless. The box on TRFs is very different. I don't know if you guys who know anything about the TRF, but basically I believe just about every car of the recent ones comes in this box. This is just an add-on that tucks down the side. All the TRF boxes are the same. You get your little carrier handle at the top, and then they just put one of these kind of flyers down the side just to sort of denote what's in that box, which is a little bit different. Right, let's open this up. I think you're going to be very surprised how little is actually inside this kit. Right, let's get the stuff out and then we'll have a closer look at it. So first up is as I said, you get an under tray. Now I'm not sure if this under tray is designed to protect the whole car. On the one I had, it was just used on these cut lines, so you basically just get two sides on the one side, two sides for each side of the chassis. So yeah, I'll have to look at that. You do get a set of 503 decals, which is pretty cool, because obviously with that lovely shell I'm getting, it definitely wants the TRF decals. I've got TRF decals kicking around from my other cars, and I've also got a set of white ones on order, because I don't know if the silver's going to go as opposed to the white, but again, that's for a later date. One big bag of hardware, which we're going to go into separately because there's all the cool bits in there. So we have that. We have, difficult to say what's there. We have our bag of arms, battery holders, plastic bits, two little bags of plastic bits again, and that, my friends, is pretty much it. That's your chassis. It's a really nice sort of gunmetal almost, really nice piece of kit. I'll probably end up selling that, to be honest, because to try and get a bit of money back on this kit when I've obviously got the carbon one fitted and I'm happy with it. I bet that'll do 40-50 quid on its own, which is pretty insane. And as I said, you get the wing, the Tamiya racing wing. That kind of surprised me. And that, my friends, is it. So, just to show you, that's what you get for your money. How insane is that? Crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the plastic bits back in the box. I'll get a little knife and we'll open this bag up, because this has got all the TRF bits in that you want to see. So that's the first bag open, and absolutely nothing exciting in that bag whatsoever. Bottom of the big bar, shocks and plastic, front knuckles, rear cups, I think, servo, probably I think that might be a bit of a better servo, I believe. Bearing cups, the adjusters for the belts, and obviously we get two belts with it. So that was bag one. Nothing exciting, but I guess this is the bag where what you pay for, if that makes sense. Well, let's have a look. So that bag is that's your big bar shocks. Best shocks Tamiya have done, in my opinion. These, they look great, and they also come with the blue alloy bottoms, which is really important. So that's that. Oh, that's interesting. The weights are in the kit. That's there's two weights for which sits underneath your batteries. I actually thought that was an optional extra. I didn't know that came with the chassis kit. That's good. Bag F. It's difficult to see without opening, but we've got some nice alloy in there, battery stayers and things, bearings, looks like all the bearings are in there, loads of shims, Allen key and some body clips, carbon shock towers, and it's got like a front and back carbon top deck. I love the blue alloy. That's the bulkheads in there in a separate bag. This comes with gear diffs, believe it or not ball diffs. Oh, the great ball diff gear diff debate. I love it. It's on our Facebook group all the time. It's even on this YouTube channel. Ends up with people arguing with each other. Bag A, big spur gear there. This has a slipper clutch as standard, this kit. And that's, again, that's an interesting part. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I do. That goes on your centre section. That's your centre unit for your / slipper clutch and spur gear. And in the final bag, turnbuckles, there's a load more bearings in there. Turnbuckles, yeah. So I kind of really should open all this up and show you, but I'm not going to because I'm not building it just yet. So that's it, guys. Pretty cool. I hope you agree. So yeah, the plan with this is to do a very detailed build of it, just to kind of show you all what it's about, because it's not like building a grasshopper. The shell, as I'm making this video, is still in the UK. I don't even think it's been sent yet. So I think realistically we're right in the middle of a pandemic still, so probably looking at a good 3 weeks before that turns up. So I'm just going to put this away for now because I have got other stuff to finish, mainly the egress. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that, and obviously that super cool shell I've had done for it. What I should have said is I've also ordered wheels and tyres, and I've just gone for Tamiya dual blocks. I just like them. I think they look great. It was the wheel and tyre of choice for this car. Obviously not for the racer, but obviously for it to sit on the shelf and just do some running on tarmac in a car park or whatever. Wouldn't really want to put this on dirt with the open belts and gears. Probably not the best to do. Obviously the shell is velcroed to those polycarbonate sides that go onto the chassis. I should also probably buy one of those plastic chassis protectors for it, but again, I like to see the carbon. Anyway, that's for a later date. So yeah, hopefully you'll see this again soon, and we'll get it built. So once again, guys, thanks so much for watching. It's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel and you like what you see, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us, that'd be awesome. And if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And most important of all, guys, happy arseeing.